and you pull it off. Now I'm not really coming out on me, but I put it on, you know, like the side of my dad's face there.
And I nearly ripped off.
The length
Your
of the
skin
things,
looks great, Eva.
the length of the things that came out of my dad's face, I was nearly puking my ring up.
Do you know what as well I bought? That one, that's like, do you know the purple lipstick and it's meant to stain your lips? Did you see all that?
Yeah, I was saying that
And
only
I
the
still
other
haven't got it
day.
either.
No, see, I'm terrible. I just watched them. I wouldn't really wear makeup often.
It says like it was only bleeding, just say €30 or something. I was like, oh fuck it, I paid 30. And I'd like that with delivery by the time it actually came.
Yeah.
That was
mad
like
money.
me with them bleeding TikTok viral face masks. Did you see them?
Yeah, but did you get it?
Yeah, I got them.
the collagen ones.
No, the glass ones, the way
As
they
like-
sink into your skin.
Oh, yeah.
Millions of probiotics or something.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Now, I don't get me wrong. When I took them off, I felt like I had that like kind of like glow look, but I felt like once I washed my face with the water, like that kind of look was
It
just
came.
gone.
I
Do you
know,
what
because
Really
I
wanna
was
wash
saying
your
that
face.
as well. There's obviously something in it that gives you a mad shine and it looks like flawless, and then I'd say once you wash it off, your skin is
Do you know
just
what
the
I
same
mean?
again.
And I I literally bought like I don't know, it was like 4 of them, and it was like 4 for like they were expensive.
I think you said nearly €50. You paid
Yeah.
for them, yeah?
No, I did actually, and
You were meant to give me one that you never did.
No, I know. I
She's
actually
like, I got one of them for you. And I still haven't seen it.
sorry, it was probably definitely used.
Stuff.
Right, so we'll get sorted, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Started.
Started.
Sorry, I'm all over the place now. So, hey everyone, and welcome back to the Work White podcast. This is the podcast where no topics are off limits. Today we have why can't I speak today? We have the lovely Dorothy Roe, who's on telling us about her inspiring story on how she's overcome breast cancer. So before we get started, we're gonna do a little bit of a
Just a little bit of an icebreaker, basically, just to make you feel a little bit comfortable. So, is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Great. So, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be and why?
Eliminate.
Yeah.
Toxic food.
No, that's actually so good though, because I was only talking about this to Vanessa about all the food that we put into our body, because 90% of the food that we put into our body is toxic.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever see the girl on Instagram, the detox mama?
No.
Oh my
Not
God,
yet.
no, you need to,
I'll have a look after.
you need to follow her. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a little bit obsessed now with it.
Yeah, that's the girl you keep sending to me all the
No,
time.
I know.
Is that
And
the girl
did you
that does
see?
the metal?
Did
Yeah.
you hear how we said about the people that are following her in town have like an obsessive thing? I was like, that's
you.
definitely an autistic trait I have again, of being obsessed with things.
Yeah.
Like, but it's deadly. You should look up her page. She do you ever hear of a heavy metal and parasite detox?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I
I'm
only
literally
read
doing
about
it.
it recently.
So,
yeah.
did you see the little bottles that you get? The little blue and green bottles.
No, I haven't seen that.
So basically, like, you order them, it's like €130, I think, for the 2 of them. And you know, they'd last you ages. They're pet friendly and all. I'm gonna give it to my dog because my dog has cancer, right?
And she thinks it's gonna cure her dog.
Well, it might cure it, my dog, but it could put my dog out of pain. Like, instead of just sitting there looking at the dog in pain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But you literally do 4 sprays on the tongue, and then like two drops underneath your tongue, then every day. And you want to see the stuff people are passing.
So is that like, so that's it? It comes out of you, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting. I'd be, defo into
oh no,
trying
you
that
have
out.
to look at it, like,
Yeah.
honestly.
If sorry, we have a few more icebreakers. So if every job paid the same, what would be the one job you'd want to do? If every job was the same amount of money, what job would you absolutely love to do?
That's a difficult one now.
I know, but it's interesting to say that if money wasn't a factor, like, what would you actually love to do?
Do you know what? Like, actually, I was saying I always wanted to be a midwife. I just
really?
love being around kids and babies and all. So I suppose something like that,
midwife,
like,
yeah.
you know, being around people.
Yeah, but not even that. That's the
Helping
happiest time
people.
of someone's
Yeah.
life as well, isn't
It's
it? And bringing
joyful.
that child.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, no, that's not why people do it as well.
Yeah.
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 What's one thing you think you've wasted a lot of time worrying about that you feel wasn't really that relevant in your life?
Worrying about what people think of you and like
Everyone says
comparing
that.
yourself with others and all. Do you know what I mean? The amount of years that I would have like been comparing myself to others, and now I'm like, no, it's just not like that anymore. And I do feel like it's a waste because, you know, there's nothing to be compared to. You know, we're all different.
Everyone's
We're all
different
made to be
anyway,
unique.
yeah.
We're not all
Yeah.
meant to look the same. We're not all meant to
Exactly.
try look like Kim Kardashian
Yeah.
with bleeding big lips and big
Yeah.
lips. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like 36 now, so yeah, years wasted on worrying about what people thought of me, like, do you know,
I
that
feel
way.
like that's like
Yeah,
something that
it's
everyone
society
says.
in itself these days,
Isn't
do you know,
it?
that way.
I think especially with social media in general, isn't
It's
it?
actually sad that that's what most people
it has
say
its
as well.
pros and cons, but that is a toxic part of it all, right? Yeah.
I feel sorry for like the younger generation now growing up because that's all they know.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah.
worse. Like,
Yeah.
do you ever
Yeah.
hear stories now about the
Absolutely.
kids these days? You're hearing the same stories you used to hear about people my age at 16, and you're hearing the same stories now about 10 and 11-year-olds now.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse, the generation.
I I know, and how young children are wearing makeup and all now. I mean, I know
the 14-year-olds now are beautiful, like gorgeous. Yeah. Like we were going, like when I was 14. Like I was going around in like Cost tracksuits.
Yeah,
and,
I was going around in my Nike Air Max. Couldn't wait for the next best tracksuit to come out. Now it's all like jeans and little crop tops.
Yeah, and they're all fab. Like you would think they're 21.
Yeah, and they all have their eyelashes done, all their nails are done. I'm like, I can't keep up with them now.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. How did they get them?
Yeah, I know.
Seriously. So we're gonna start a little bit about you. So will you tell us a little bit about you and your journey from when you got diagnosed? Now.
Yeah, so I was 31 when the lump in me right breast was first brought to me attention. And
did you find it? No.
So what happened was I kept getting like a little cyst, like where your breast tissue kind of ends just near here. And I, like, it was coming and going, knew it was a cyst kind of, so I wasn't really bothered about it, so I didn't go to the doctor. But eventually it was kind of getting bigger and it was much sorer. Like, my breast actually felt like it was full and sore.
Right, okay.
So I was like, I better go and just have it checked. So my doctor, Dr. Tia, she's a brilliant doctor actually, she checked me breast right away. She felt the cyst and she said, yeah, I can feel that. She said, now, but the only thing is, I'm not concerned about it. She said, but if you can just get your hand, and she said, I can feel a lump here. So it's on the other side of the right breast. She found the lump. So yeah, she got me to feel it, and I was like, oh, well, see, the way she showed me how to do it, I could feel it, whereas if I had been looking for that, I wouldn't have found it.
So you never knew you had this lump before you went to the doctor?
So this is a different lump, to the lump that you went about?
So as I said, like it was only like a pea-sized cyst that I had. It came and went more around my menstrual cycle, do you know that way? So I wasn't concerned because it went and it would come back as like, it's obviously nothing to worry about. But as I said, it was kind of getting bigger and sorer. When it would come back, that brought me to go to the doctor, and then she did the proper breast check on both breasts, and she found a lump then. So she said, look, I'll have to refer you to the breast clinic in James straight away. So that was a waiting game, and then so that was when I was coming to the end of my year of being 31. But I wasn't actually diagnosed until I was 33. The reason was because of COVID. So I had a couple of appointments in between. I had to miss the first one because it was like the first month of COVID, and they were saying not to go near the hospitals around. So they said they sent out another appointment. Now, the next appointment I had right up until the day before, I was like, yeah, I have that appointment. The day of the appointment, just totally forgot about it. And I think thinking back to it, it must have been like in me subconscious, like
that you didn't want to go.
Do you know that way? Yeah. And I remember then it was like, oh crap, never went. So anyway, the third appointment. Now the reason why they sent the third appointment was I knew the lump was there, so I was obviously feeling it. Now I had it for about 14 months before I was detected, because of I kind of put it off, if you know what I mean. I shouldn't have, but so a bit of advice.
So you had the lump that the doctor found. You had that 14 months before you were actually sent it.
So I was 31 then, and then so with the two missed appointments, and then I had got in touch with them. But see, after COVID and all, like they were obviously trying to, like, you know, all the missed appointments that they couldn't see to people, they were trying to catch up on. Anyway, I got in touch with them. I think I might have even wrote them a little letter or something just to say, look, I'm really concerned, because I could feel it was getting a bit bigger. Yeah. And it wasn't getting smaller, do you know that way? So they got in touch with me anyway. So I went to that appointment. Now, to be honest, going in, I was still thinking to myself, like, it's only like a lump. It's like, I wasn't thinking that, and like I wasn't scared really going in. So going into the appointment, and a lovely doctor, she did the breast check. So she checked the left one first, then she did the second one. She goes, oh, is this it here? And I said, yeah. So with that, straight away, she went out and got he was the head of the team that was looking after me, Dr. Boyle, lovely doctor. And he came straight in, checked around, and it was like that. They were like, I knew kind of by his demeanour straight away that, like, it was something serious, because he was like kind of whispering in behind the curtain and all. And I was like, all right. So he came in, just explained everything that would happen. He said, look, we're going to do I think it was the ultrasound first, then the mammogram, And off the back of either one of them that was second, they just said, look, we need to do a biopsy today. And with that, I was in floods of tears. I knew from that moment.
Straight away, there and then.
I knew from that moment I had cancer, to be honest, because I could just see by the way they were
their
going on. They're doing it every day,
changed.
you know, that way. So yeah, just taken straight in, they numb the breast and they go in with this like, it's almost like a syringe, but it's obviously thicker. So they literally make an incision, went in, and I have it on the ultrasound so they can see everything what they're doing, you know, that way. Yeah. So it's like a little, I don't know what you call it, I'm going to call it a syringe anyway. So they go in and just take a tiny little piece of tissue. And obviously I'm still in floods of tears, and they were like, you're doing great and everything, you know, they were very reassuring. There was a good few of them in the room as well then. And when I sat up, I even became more... what you call it?
Erratic, probably. Like,
yeah, because they said to me, you can bring somebody with you on your next appointment. Almost saying, make sure you have somebody with you, you know. So I was like, grand. So I went into the changing rooms and I rang my sister and I was telling her, and like she even kind of nearly started crying. She was like, oh God, Dorothy, like they did all that in one day, like on your first appointment, you know, that way.
So before you went and got the biopsy, were you able to bring anybody, or was it just all
no? And I tell you what, like even if I had really had a major concern that it was actually cancer, do you know what I mean, I would have brought somebody. But I was like, I'm going in because it was only me first, like it was my first appointment with the actual breast clinic. So I would have imagined if you went just in and they were concerned, they'd call you back for a biopsy. I'd say in some cases maybe, but like I think because of the size of my lump and everything, they were able to, and again, they're feeling them every day.
And how long you were waiting as well, sorry, to get I remember you said you missed an appointment as well. So I'd say by the time you got to that day, we're just like, now we need to take action.
So they said, I think that was on the Thursday, and they said, we'll be calling you back on Wednesday. They knew the day. Obviously, it's a clinic, so they have like, you know, where they go and check the lump or the tissue and everything. So yeah, it was a waiting game. Now I have to say, like those few days when I went home to me mum, my sister was in work, so she couldn't come near me. So I'm driving home shaking and all, you know. And when I got home, I didn't know whether to say it to me mum or not. But when she came down the stairs and looked at me, she said, "Are you all right? You're like a ghost." And I just burst into tears again. I said, "Mum, after being in the hospital," I said, about that lump, and she, like, her face obviously dropped as well.
Oh, mad. That wouldn't have been too long after your dad died either. Wouldn't it have been that many years later? Like
about 2-3 years. Yeah,
that's horrible.
So what happened then? Yeah, I told her what happened, and obviously, you know, everybody's panicking and everything, do you know what I mean?
And people that was there were probably trying to be brave for you and telling you, oh, like, this is positive.
Everyone said it. And like, Mary, don't get me wrong, I'd probably say something like that myself, but it's you just don't know until you get the results, you know, that way. So yeah, it was a waiting game. Didn't really sleep much that week, I have to say.
And a full week is a very long time.
Yeah, and like, thank God it wasn't that long, because some people have to wait longer than that for results of things like that, you know, that way. So yeah, the Wednesday came and my two sisters came with me. So I'm the youngest of 12. My eldest sister came in, and my sister Bernd and my sister Emily came in with me, and I remember we were sitting waiting for ages because it was it was so busy after COVID and all. And I remember sitting there, and this lovely one of the girls off the breast team, she wouldn't be a doctor or anything, she'd be like a care assistant or something. But she came out and she's like, I'm looking for Dorothy. And I looked up and real smiley, and I goes, that's me. And she just looked at me and she kind of put her hand on my shoulder and closed her eyes a bit, and I was like, oh. Just again, all these little things, I knew, I was like, this isn't good news, like, you know.
Sorry, were you left waiting till the end of the day?
I was the last one. We
had another girl on that is actually still going through breast cancer. She stage 3 breast cancer. What she said is, what she's realised over the last few years is, if you're the last
appointment of the
day. Well, they want to spend time with you to go through.
Absolutely. And again, like, because I was one of them, I can say it's the crying is uncontrollable. Like, I like, when I went in, the doctor, he didn't just tell you, right, well, we checked your lump and it's cancer. He went through loads of different scenarios of why they did what they did. And he said, he explained that when they actually take the tissue, that that's something else I was going to say there. That's when they actually took the whole tumour away. But anyway, when they told me I had the cancer, he was saying, look, unfortunately in your case, it is cancer. And I was just like, oh no. And
as soon as you heard that word, that was
yeah.
it. Like, yeah.
But yeah, I fell into my sister's arms. But do you ever hear somebody wailing, and I've never had to, I've not saying never had to do it before, but
it was uncontrollable.
This. Yeah. It wasn't a scream, but it was like
you've never felt that pain in your heart.
No,
before,
it was just that way, that way. So that's what I'm saying. I'd say that's the reason why they leave you till the end of the day, because
you don't want everyone else to probably
hearing it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
it's
So when you went in then on the Wednesday, did they tell you what was going to happen next? Or?
Yeah, so they did explain. So it's not like, look, you just have breast cancer and it's slap bang the same way with everyone. It's so different with everyone, depending on the size of your tumour, whether it's in different parts of the breast.
Can I ask, sorry, because I feel like I always get confused. Is it tumour cancer?
Yeah.
So that a tumour is what the lump is.
Yeah, exactly. It's an accumulation of white blood cells, and the white blood cells accumulate and they just form a tumour.
I always thought a tumour and cancer were separate, so I actually
you're actually right in what you're saying there. You can have a tumour, but it can be benign.
Oh, okay.
What's benign mean?
It means
it's non-cancerous.
Yeah, so this is the thing that I was thinking. Oh no, wait.
And this is the whole thing. Like, people are just not educated enough, I don't think, on all this, that way. And there's so many forms of cancer as well, I suppose.
They don't really.
And there's different forms of breast cancer as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously you were saying your case.
Yeah. So this is so what happened was he did explain what would happen. He said, from what they could see on the ultrasound and all that, it was just one tumour. They didn't see anything else on that. But the only way to determine the treatment, the next step, obviously treatment, surgery will be the first thing. So when they take the tumour away, let's say that's your tumour there, they also take the surrounding tissue as well. So they do margins, so they check margins around that tumour to see is there any cells at the breaking off from the tumour, if you get me.
And gone maybe going into the skin or whatever.
Yeah,
part of the body.
so that would have determined whether. So I had an option to either just have a lumpectomy to have the actual tumour removed and leave that, or else to have my whole breast removed. Or I had a choice to have me two breasts removed. Like, it's all down to yourself now. They did suggest at first maybe we take the tumour away, check the surrounding margins. If there's nothing there, it's entirely up to yourself again.
Could grow back so again.
Well, this is it, and it depends on what type of breast cancer you have. So when they checked the tissue, they said it was mainly estrogen fed. But I was also HER2 positive. But HER2 positive, I was only borderline with that. Whereas if you are fully blown HER2 positive, they will suggest that you have either your full breast or your a full mastectomy.
Right.
But because I was only...
is that a more stronger, aggressive form of the cancer?
So estrogen fed means the tumour is being fed by your hormone estrogen, right? But the HER2 positive means, say you have a tumour, if it's HER2 positive, it means every now and again the tumour will let off loads of cells, and those cells will just travel around your body and they can actually start off.
So you had both of that?
Yeah, now the HER2 positive, thank God, was only
small.
Was only borderline.
Right.
But then again, I had it for nearly a year and a half before I knew.
Yeah.
So again, early detection is so important.
So what did you decide to do?
Yeah, so I decided that I just go for the lumpectomy, and I said if it did turn out that the borders had any cancer cells, that I would go and have just have a full mastectomy. That was my plan.
So you just decided to take the lump out?
Yeah,
right. And
that's all I had. So thank God when they did the surgery, they came to me then a couple of days later during COVID, no visitors or anything. So you're sitting there just talking to all the girls in the ward and all, God bless. Yeah. There was a lovely little lady there. But so they came and said, look, thankfully there was no cancer in the margins surrounding the tumour, so we're not concerned. And again, like even though that was 3 years ago now, even now I could actually still say to them, look, I want a mastectomy, they will do it for me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not that you just make up the choice there and then you're forgotten about. You're in that system and they look after you the
Because
years
you've had
following.
an issue with breast cancer, if that's something you've chose to do because you don't want it to come back, even
like
if it's 2 years later,
which I would be terrified sometimes. Like they say, check your breasts once a month. I check my breasts every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm constantly feeling them, and I'd be laughing sometimes to be sitting in the car. Or I could be sitting anywhere and I'd be checking them like people obviously think I'm
just caressing
just
yourself.
feeling them like
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I
I
mean? But yeah, so I just had the lumpectomy. So they took 3 lymph nodes. So they literally take the lymph nodes from here. They took 3 of them. So if they check your lymph nodes and they see that there's any cancer cells in them, they know that it's kind of gone to the next stage. Thank God there was, thank God there was no cancer cells in the 3 lymph nodes. And yeah, they did the lumpectomy. And then following that, I had, I started the chemo then.
So even though they removed it, you still needed to do chemo?
Yeah, so see the HER2 positive.
Yeah.
It's because that's a cancer tumour that will let the cells off every now and again. It means that that say a cancer cell, those cells that are being let off, they can stop anywhere in your body and form another tumour.
Okay.
So that's the reason why they suggested, well, it wasn't even really suggested to me. I was kind of nearly told, look,
yeah.
you know, it's you've grade 3 breast cancer and it's also HER2 positive. So for that reason, I had to have the chemotherapy.
Right, and
Yeah.
how was the chemotherapy?
To be honest with you, starting off on it was all right. Like,
did you lose your hair? Because you have loads of your hair now, so I'm like,
yeah,
you lost your hair.
Now, to be honest with you, you can do this. It's called a cold cap. So
I think I've heard of this, yeah.
It pretty much freezes your scalp, do you know, so the chemotherapy doesn't actually hit your scalp.
Right.
Now, loads of people stick it out. I didn't. It was horrific.
It's
like,
very, like,
I'm
it's
not
actually like an
joking.
ice block on your head,
Oh,
isn't
no,
it?
I swear. Like, I actually, I know it's only an hour or two that you'd be having the chemotherapy for, but for that 2 hours, oh my God, I actually felt like I was going to die with the pain in my head. Like,
So that's when you tried to put the cold cap on?
yeah,
was
I
it?
tried it once. Did I try it the next? No, I couldn't. I just says, no, I'll just leave it. Like, it is what it is. If I'm going to lose it, I'm going to lose it. Like, you know,
Well,
that
that's
way.
it. Like, were you ever so cold that the pains, like if you jumped into like that, the Irish Sea water, like, I'm not even saying that just jumping in the water, but you know that like
Yeah.
your whole body is freezing, especially your head. They say if your head and your feet are cold, like
That's all
your,
heat in
your
your
whole
body.
body is
That's
freezing.
true, yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I can only imagine the pain. It's
Oh,
like
horrible.
brain freeze by
Like,
100.
I was actually just sitting there the whole time and I was literally trying to lift my head and I couldn't. And then I think it came to the last 15 minutes and I was like,
Get it
can you
off.
just take this off? I said, I can't do it anymore. And now, fair enough, she convinced me to keep it on because there's no point in just putting. She said, you're after getting through nearly 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
She said, if you take it off now, it's not
You're
going
gonna undo.
Do you know what I mean? So I stuck it out. But then in all fairness, not everybody does lose their hair. Do you know
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost me hair about 3 weeks into the chemo. Yeah, about 3 weeks into the chemo,
How
I'd
long were
say.
you doing chemo for?
I had 3 months of it.
That's a
Every
lot.
Thursday.
Yeah. And
Now,
every week
see,
you did it?
Yeah, every
in
Thursday.
the hospital, not just at home?
So I wasn't at home. I
Right.
never took out. The only medication I'll tell you about I had to do myself was when I had to have my eggs frozen.
Right.
I had to inject myself. But with the chemotherapy, now I went to St. Vincent's once a week for that on a Thursday.
For 2 hours.
Yeah. And yeah, you had to have like what you call them, the steroids and all before it.
Yeah.
But one of the days I didn't. So I was saying it was funny because one of the mornings we were going out and like, I don't know if you've ever had to take steroids before, but one of the mornings I was going out and I was full of energy and I was absolutely like that talking
Yeah.
to my niece and I was like, I can't stop talking. And she goes, I think I know. She started laughing. The two of us were in stitches laughing. And she says, I think it might. I said to her, I think it might be those steroids. She goes, yeah, I think it might. She said, you haven't fucking shut up talking. So I was like, grand. So I happened to say it to Professor Welch, Janice Welch. She's brilliant. She's the head of breast cancer in Ireland. So I said it to her. So she said, actually, I tell you what, Dorothy, she said, just take your steroids the night before. Don't take them the morning of, which I didn't do. But when I start, so what the reason why they give you the steroids is because of something it does to you, like an allergic reaction. So the steroids pretty much stop you from having that reaction. That day, I never forget it. I had my phone in my hand like that, right? And just sitting there, and my phone just fell. And I went like that, and I went to pick it up, but nothing was moving. And I was like, I was trying to get their attention, but like, and next of all,
Is this while you were doing chemo?
Yeah, the chemo. They were literally only had to put me on the drip. And like that, my heart, the only way I can explain it is like my body went on fire from the bottom up. Do you know what I mean? And my heart was pounding, and then I couldn't breathe. So I was like that, looking over at them. But like, I have to say, like, they're so good at what they do. Straight over you have a line in case you have an extra line, and they just injected me with something, and I came back to get. But
what was that happened to you?
It's an allergic reaction. Now, I've never had a heart attack before, but the only way I can explain it is like a heart attack, because I was like, I can't breathe. No, and the nurses said, she goes, Dorothy, you're gone very red. Like, she said my face went like a beetroot. And then as soon as they gave that medication, no word of a lie, I just like normal again. Do you know that way?
Isn't it actually just crazy?
That's
sometimes
actually mad.
Yeah, it is.
Is that like the worst experience you've had doing chemotherapy of all the sessions you've done?
Like other than that, not a bother. Do you know,
Right.
I love me sleep, so I usually put a blanket over me and
you just fall asleep.
Sitting there, gone sleep.
But it does wipe you out, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, it does. Like, it's not even so much going through the treatment. For me, it was the months after.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably even when you're doing the chemo, I know you were saying that you felt like obviously in pain.
Yeah, like
but
some
I'd say
days I'd walk out of that place feeling absolutely grand. Do you know what I mean? See, following the chemotherapy, you can't have all your treatment together in regards of chemotherapy, radiation, and then the hormone therapy after. All together. They have to do it in stages, because if you were to do all that together, you'd probably be dead. Like, do you know what I mean? Not to scare anybody that has to go through anything like that, but that's the reason why they have to do it in stages. The radiotherapy was very, very exhausting. Okay. That was probably worse than the chemo for me.
What's radiotherapy?
So it's pretty much, it's like a beam of radiotherapy, that's what they call it, but it literally, they say that it literally goes right through you.
Is it all sending
like that will go through your body and come out on the other side? Do you know what I mean? So they literally had to mark me, and I was you'd be lying on the bed, and it would just go through that part of me breast and then through a part of me where I had my lymph nodes taken out as well.
Yeah. So what? Sorry, when you say you had your lymph nodes taken out, I don't really understand about all this.
Lymph nodes isn't that like a tube of muscle? Am I right in saying that?
So your lymph nodes pretty much carry your blood, but they clean your blood as well. That's the only simple way I can explain it.
Yeah, so it's where it's like tubes like that.
Yeah, it's like a filtration system or something. I tried to look it up before. All these big medical words, they can kind of knock you off.
But you know what, you're very good at explaining it. Like, I feel like this out you're dumbing it down for us, because obviously you've gone through it, and we're like, we don't know what them words are. Do you know what I mean? So anyone that's obviously listening as well is going to be like, okay, that makes sense now what you're saying, and they're getting an understanding better.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they check your lymph nodes, because once it's in the lymph nodes, it's in your bloodstream then.
And then it can go anywhere around the whole body.
Exactly, yeah. So that's when they can kind of tell it. Usually when it's in your lymph nodes, that's when it's gone into stage 4.
And it's spreading.
I was stage 3, thank God I didn't get that far, do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's in your lymph nodes, it can spread to any organs, do you know that way?
And really you have lymph nodes, they
run from all the way up your legs,
from your heart all around your body. That's what pumps blood all around your body. Yeah, circulation, like.
Yeah. You know what I mean? No, it's mad. I always heard about lymph nodes, but I never actually understood. Do you know what I mean? Because when you hear people having cancer, you always kind of hear them talking about.
But that's obviously how it spreads, is it? Is through the lymph nodes, no matter what. That's how it spreads.
Yeah.
So then you had obviously chemotherapy, and then you did your radiation.
So the radiation came after the chemotherapy, so that had to be Monday to Friday for 5 weeks.
Oh my God,
every day.
And you know what is mad? I just thought you were like, when you were telling your story there, I thought you were going to say, okay, you had the lump removed and that was it.
See,
I wasn't expecting
very easy to just listen to someone say it though.
No,
honestly, compared to going through it, like I'm only imagining.
Like, so, and then like following the following the radiotherapy and all, like, you do be exhausted, you know what I mean? But like that, I thought I was fine, and then I decided to go back to work. Now, like, even like the doctors even told me, like, don't rush into going back to work. Wait until you're ready. I think it was more so for my own sanity. Do you know what I mean?
Mentally, you need
that I said I'd go back to work. But
especially being sick, sorry, through COVID and all, I'd say really even worse. You're probably like,
this is it. Yeah, I couldn't wait to get back to work. See, I'm more into the fitness industry, but because of COVID as well, I didn't get to pursue that. Then I found out I had cancer. So I went and worked in a call centre for a while. But it was when I was kind of getting up every morning and all for that. The exhaustion, like, see, I started on a hormone therapy after that. What it does is it stops your body from producing estrogen. So after the radiotherapy, I had to go on the hormone therapy. Yeah. So that's just one little tablet every day. But my God, this would knock you for days.
Did you have to take it at night time then?
Like, you can take it whatever time you want. They say to kind of like let your own body know. I was taking it in the mornings and all I wanted to do was sleep. Right. So then I started taking it in the night. So yeah, like when I started that, I kind of rushed into work too quick because I was trying to get my body was adapting to that.
Back to normal.
Yeah, and then see, estrogen. Women need estrogen for their body, for their lungs, their heart, their everything to function properly. So you're starved to that estrogen. I was going around exhausted. Then my head was playing games. Then I was like, I'm not able, like.
And obviously it's your hormones, because estrogen is a hormone as well, isn't it? Like, obviously.
So the hormone therapy I was on, I'm actually still on it. Right. It's called tamoxifen. So it stops your body from pretty much producing estrogen.
Sorry,
it's like all about receptors and all. Now that's very medical terms and all. But it pretty much stops your body from producing estrogen. So if there was a tumour there, it can't be fed by the estrogen and won't grow as quick. Do you know that way?
So how long in total are you on that hormone now?
I should be on it for 5 years now. I came off it twice already. They lowered the dose to 10 milligrams. I was on 20, but then they told me now you're being underdosed because of the grade cancer and how the risk of it coming back and all. They said, you need to stay on it as long as you can, which isn't just that easy. Do you know that way? So I did come off it, but I have an appointment with my oncologist now in October. To just ask, is there anything else that I can do, because I do have terrible bouts of exhaustion with it and depression and all.
Mentally as well.
Yeah, like just with it really does play an awful effect on my mental health with the tiredness and all. Day-to-day things that you should be able to do at 36.
I was going to say, because you're so young as well.
It's not as bad as it was now, I'm not going to lie. It isn't as bad. But again, I would just like to see, is there other options?
Is that why you had to get your eggs froze from doing that therapy?
Oh, yeah. So the chemotherapy, chemo kills your eggs along with all your other cells in your body. So that's what chemotherapy does. It kills the cells in your body.
Yeah. Because obviously white cells then are cancerous cells.
Yeah, so what the chemo does is whatever happens, again, it's all medical terms, but when I was explained to me, so your cell kind of splits at the end of a process. So what the chemo does, it kills that cell before it gets to split. Right. And do you know what I mean? Reproduce or whatever way. I don't know. They're all medical terms. But it kills your good cells as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's why you lose your hair. You have no energy.
Kills all the goods and bad cells.
Yeah,
exactly. It's kind of like an antibiotic, but obviously more extreme, because an antibiotic does the same thing. When you're sick, it kills the good and the bad off,
it kills the good bacteria as well as or the probiotics and all that.
Yeah.
But
so you obviously froze your eggs then to.
Oh yeah, so that's what lovely Janice Welch said to me. So what do you ever plan to have more kids? Well, like, I'm not in a relationship or right now, but I said, like, if I did meet somebody and they wanted kids, absolutely I will be open to it, that way. So she said, right, we'll put you in touch with the fertility clinic out in Sandyford, I think it was. No, not Sandyford. Which one is the one beside the airport?
I am the worst person.
I am brutal as well.
Malahide.
It's near Malahide. It is near Malahide now, but it begins with an S. No.
Santry.
That's it.
Santry.
Well done.
Very good. Fair play to you. So I was referred to the clinic out there. Now, you wouldn't believe it. Like, if you know my family, I come from a family of 12, right?
Right.
So 26 eggs is what they got initially.
Right.
And by the end of it, like some eggs won't be able to be saved, but they got 11 in the end. So I have 11 potential babies out in
Kids,
Sanctuary.
Oh my God, that's very good though, considering
Yeah,
did they
I know.
take your eggs before or after all the
Yeah,
treatments?
I got there was a
Before.
lovely girl out there that day, and she had some sort of disease where she had to have a blood transfusion, and so that was 3 years ago, and she said it was 18 years previous, so around 21 years ago when like they probably were only starting off, she only had one egg, right? And the day that I went out there, she was finding out, and I'd love if she's seeing me on this now, I hope she reaches out to me and tells me.
Whether she actually had the baby
because
to her.
she was waiting to see if the egg took, and I remember
She only
I was
had
nearly
one egg, bless
yeah,
her.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. You're very lucky that you had 11 eggs.
Absolutely, yeah.
People
yeah.
out there that only literally get one or two, and
I know.
like even at that there's the one that
Yeah.
that girl hadn't tried to go and try.
Or
and-
even
Are you allowed now, just obviously at any age, go and try put
yeah,
them in to have
yeah.
a child? At any age, even
Yeah,
if like you were
my
50?
sister just be laughing. Here should be. You don't need a man now to have a
Yeah,
baby. Just go out
literally.
there and get a sperm donor.
Even if you couldn't carry the baby, you could get a surrogate and all now. She has already
Yeah,
out, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And they'd be still your biological
There's
child.
loads
Yeah,
of like different
yeah.
options that you can get, which is obviously very good, and you must be like very still well fertile and all to have all them eggs and all. That's brilliant.
Well, like I mean, to get all that 26 eggs or
that's
something
so
in the
good.
in the
Obviously
beginning.
came from your mum anyway, being able to
Yeah.
have 12 kids.
yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, stop. But yeah, like that. So even that process going through the
Eggs must have been hard.
the
though,
eggs
was
and
it?
all, I felt like it was carrying two big balls out inside me, like two big heavy balls.
Did you have
of
to do all the
metal or
injections
something.
and all?
Yeah, I had to inject myself every day, which was actually grand. Like
For
you
the
don't
hormones or
even feel
something,
it.
isn't it like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all like all hormonal. It's all about the hormones. It's
So
just
you've
mad.
obviously went through loads in that few weeks. Did you have a good support like around you?
Absolutely. Like as I was saying, I'm the youngest of 12, so I've like mountains
You're
of
the
need.
youngest
Yeah.
there, so you're the baby,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah. So yeah, I had a mountains of support, and like no offense to me family or anything, but sometimes you just want time to yourself.
Yeah.
And even my mum would say, "Go on up. If anybody comes in, I'll just tell them that you're having a rest." Even
Yeah.
if I wasn't sleeping, she'd say, "I'll tell them that you're having a sleep."
Especially when you're drained. you
Because it's
probably
just trying to
need-
let it
yeah.
sink in yourself. Do you know that way? Like, I used to just go upstairs with me two little dogs and they'd sit around me. But funny enough, it was like they even knew to be
They
lying on
do
you.
know.
100%.
They're so smart dogs.
Yeah.
They're literally
Have
like.
you kids now
Yeah,
at the minute? Ah,
yeah,
you
my
do
son
have
Alan.
kids then,
I
right?
have a 19-year-old.
Oh,
yeah.
geez, you've a 19-year-old,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I expect to say I had young kids.
Yeah. That was probably the hardest part.
Yeah,
I remember.
Jesus.
Yeah, I remember saying like bursting out crying to my nephew one night, and he wouldn't really know what to be saying or doing.
Yeah.
Like my nephew Graham, but he was saying, I was like, it's not even that. Like I was like, when you have cancer and you don't know what way it's going to go, like it's not only about you, it's about the people that are around you, and especially when you
Yeah.
have a child. All I kept thinking was, if anything happens to me, who's going?
gonna look after
Although
him?
he's a teenager and all, like it doesn't matter.
It's
Like
even
I was like,
harder
who's
then
going
as well,
to
do you know
look
what I
after him? Do you know what I mean? But thank God I'm still here.
So what age was he then when you started going through it?
He's 19 now. He's only 16.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
bad.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
even only 15 was he? Because 15 or 16.
Yeah, well, you came out the other side.
So how
yeah.
has actually living with the cancer like impacted on like your life and then your family's like?
Yeah, like I mean, there are two people after me had cancer within the 1 year. My ma had a big tumour removed from her stomach, and then my brother had bladder cancer.
Oh my God.
My ma's tumour was about 25 centimetres. But anyway, like yeah, I think I think we all just appreciate each other a bit more
Yeah.
now. Do you know that way? Like
You don't take life
It's probably
for
all used to
granted.
fight over stupid things
yeah,
and everything.
do you know,
and-
like, yeah, and I used to take things a lot more serious. Like, if somebody annoyed me before, I'd let it kill me for days. Like, it'd live with me for days. And, like, I don't quarrel with people anyway, but
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I
You don't
just,
hold on to it anymore. You
No,
just let it
holding
go
grudges
and,
are,
yeah.
like, I think as well, like, obviously, you know, genetics stand in the way, stress, food and all, but I think stress as well is one of the main things to
Yeah.
do with cancer.
oh my God,
because
yeah.
I would have been very stressed out the years before that.
Would you
Grief as
suffer
well.
with anxiety a lot before?
Yeah, loads of it. Absolutely. That I did indeed. Yeah, I had loads of anxiety. I'd only lost my dad a couple of years before, and I had a bit of a bad breakup as well. Like, all kind of rolled into one,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And then the cancer,
You didn't get over one thing and
no,
then
it was
rolled into the
just
next,
one
so
thing
just
after
grief.
the next, yeah. And I was constantly going around, like, living
You're
on my
always
nerves.
look like as well, like, not Jesus, I obviously don't know all your family as much
Yeah.
as I know you, but you, even when your dad was alive, you were always the person like to make sure
yeah,
you
I
were
looked after my
She
dad,
always looked
yeah,
after everyone,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
obviously your ma was sick then after you, and then you
Yeah.
had to help look after your
Yeah.
ma, then you and
Yeah.
your ma are like bestos really, aren't you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is your mum and your brother now okay?
Yeah, well, like my mum, she should have been on a medication, but she took very bad reactions to it and all, and it was her decision now. She just said she wasn't taking it anymore. But yeah, like she is good now. Come here, my mum's 81 now. She'll be 81 next month, so she's becoming older. Like, but other than that, yeah, like her health is all right. A bit of
Her
bad
mind
hip
is
and all.
okay, so.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. She's superwoman, I call her.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone that has gone through the same situation as you?
Just, I think if you find out that you have that, don't keep thinking too far ahead.
Go and take a day.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just,
Still
it
try and
sounds
live in the
real cliche,
present.
take one day at a time, but you really do have to, because I remember I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, I should be doing this now, but I'm stuck in this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'd be thinking, time is running out and all, and it causes more stress then.
Yeah.
Beating yourself up over.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And just don't look at Google, because if you look at Google, you'll have yourself
Oh
dead
my
and
God,
buried.
that's me. I'm the worst. I always do it on Google, and
honestly.
I swear.
And another thing is as well, like Google, it's great in ways, but like if you really do want to educate yourself on cancer and how to avoid getting it, and
Google
how
tells
to
you the complete opposite, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. You're better off really doing your research and getting good books of people who are scientists and oncologists, professors and
Them
all that
herbal
write
books.
these books, who are actually doing the tests themselves, because Google sometimes just, it's not really accurate, you know that
Did you
way?
ever hear that tablet, sorry, because I know you obviously look up that stuff, ivermectin? Did
The
you ever
what?
hear that? Ivermectin.
No.
It's like this tablet, right? So my dad was telling me, my dad's like, so it's a tablet that people were taking like when COVID came around to stop them from getting COVID and to help with like the aftermath symptoms and all.
Yeah.
But supposedly it helps with millions of things. So if you have cancer and if you take this, supposedly it like basically helps you get rid of your cancer.
Oh, very
and then
good.
after you've actually had your cancer and it's gone, continue to take it for the rest of your life to ever prevent it from coming back. You
Yeah.
should look up into it, but
Oh, I will.
That's
Text
that-
it to me
when
actually,
you
will you?
look up
Because
on
I'm
Google.
so open to it.
yeah, but Google says
Yeah.
like that you shouldn't take this and all.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
see,
She just gets stuff that's illegal and all.
I-
Like, like she just be like the
Yeah.
metal stuff and all. Like, you know, like she's saying
but
about
there's
getting the
a lot
metals out
that
of your body.
Google doesn't want you to know. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, don't
I
mean
believe in
sound
that
like a
as well.
conspiracy theorist
No,
and
but
all.
I do
No, I
believe
know.
in
But
that
there
as
is a
well.
lot that, they don't want you to know, like the foods we eat, to the products we put on our skin and all has an impact
Oh my
on
God,
cancer.
I've been looking at all
Do
that
you know
as
what I
well.
mean? So,
How has all this like mentally affected you?
yeah, like in a mental state, I've never, like, as I was saying, like, after the radiotherapy, going on the hormone therapy, mental health, my head was in
Was
the
that
bin.
the worst you've ever been mentally?
Yeah, the worst ever. Like, I was at a stage where I thought I'd never be the same person again. Do you know,
Because
like,
you seem
I
quite
just,
headstrong now, and like you keep.
and
like,
that's only gradually over the last while. Do you
Yeah,
know?
you've
But
got to this
before
point.
that, like, there was days where, like, I know it sounds very morbid, but I just felt like giving up.
Yeah.
I end up. It was clinically depressed. Like, I was on antidepressants and everything.
Yeah.
And then they had an effect on me as well. So I really just had to kind of come off everything for a while, find myself again. Another thing is fitness for me is a major, major thing for anyone that
that's what
suffers
helped you,
with
like-
their mental health for whatever reason they suffer with it. I think you need to be getting out, like outdoors and moving your body.
Even a
So
walk, like just out in the fresh air.
and surrounding yourself with people that are into all that as well is good for you as well. Do you know that way?
So fitness was your outlet, probably mentally. Was
yeah,
it?
yeah, absolutely.
And then you brought in a book as well.
Ah,
that you were
yeah.
saying how.
I know the name of the book is a bit misleading because it sounds like it's just all about moving and like fitness. It's called Lazy Fucks Don't Live to 100, and it's by Tom Broadwell. I have to say, if you're health conscious, you need to read it. He will tell you
that's
what
about,
Google
like, your
doesn't tell you.
health, your food. It's about your food, is it, and being healthy? Or?
So he pretty much covers everything from fitness to food to what's in the food you're eating, all these chemicals that you should avoid, that you're eating and also putting on your skin, and he covers even stuff for your animals. You'd love that, Eva. But yeah. Honestly,
So you believe like that some of that stuff could
see
cause
this?
cancer?
I read this recently, and this will be like a Bible to me for the rest of my life. Like
It's something that you believe in. like-
Eye-opening.
Absolutely, yeah. So, like, off the back of getting this book, I went out and bought a Ninja,
blender.
not a blender, a juicer,
Right.
to do a vegetable juice every morning. Like, the benefits of that alone will really
Do you know what's
really.
massive, and I'm not even messing yet? Celery, green apples, ginger, and pineapple.
That's I have that in my fridge at home.
That's the best
ginger.
one.
I hate ginger.
No, I love it when it hits
But you
the
can
back of your
substitute
throat.
it with something. Do you
I
know
love
that
it.
way?
Yeah.
Do you know what's not too bad? Now I don't know, because I was, you know, the little tubes of ginger and garlic and all.
Yeah,
you can
the
get.
turmeric
The
and all
only
that.
thing is, it doesn't give you the ingredients and the one out of Aldi, so just be careful. But
Oh,
fresh,
so there's a reason that it doesn't give you the
Yeah, they
ingredients.
do.
do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%.
But yeah, he just in this, he he really goes into how important it is to really, really look after your diet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
100%.
mean? And just
You
try stay
always
away
say
from
that, like
I
your
do.
diet is everything. She believes
processed
that your
foods and
diet-
I'll try cut them out. I mean, it's so
Sure, even-
easier.
I know, it's
said
easier
than
said than done, especially when you have a busy
Did you
life.
see,
Yeah.
like, McDonald's chips? A large McDonald's chips is equivalent to smoking a 25 packet of Marble End smokes.
Oh my
Fuck off.
god!
It is. So
what
basically, you
the-
may as well, like, hand your child a packet of smokes and say, "Here you go."
I know.
No,
No,
well,
well,
we-
no, it
This
literally
the
is.
thing
I've
as
seen
well.
it.
Like honestly, this book, like even
we're
if
not
you.
educated enough.
No, we're not.
He will tell you what Google doesn't. Do you know what I mean? He will go into the depths of it and he simplifies it as well.
That's
Do
what
you
I
know
mean.
what
So
I mean?
that's something for me. I
Like-
really need to simplify it as well.
Yeah, I got another book similar to this, which kind of covered everything, but I stopped reading it because of all the big words, like the medical
Yeah.
words and all. Whereas
Make
he
it too
literally
technical.
he breaks it down,
Yeah.
simplifies it for you, and like I'm just a different person after reading this book. I really mean
But
it.
you know what? That's so good when someone actually, like, this book actually did change
Change your
things for
life,
me.
like-
And you'll see there it says the no bullshit guide to optimal health, living longer and looking better naked. But it says avoid this, and then the picture of your man with the two on a deathbed, like with the
Yeah.
age 66, like
Yeah,
who wants
no,
to
it
die
does
at
go-
66? And it is all about living a long, healthy life. You don't have to be old and be unhealthy. People
Yeah.
have this misconception that, oh, I'm old now, I can't
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
too
like
late.
it's total.
Yeah.
Well, it's
bull.
never too
Do
late.
you know what I
like,
mean?
definitely.
That's the first thing I'm going
Yeah.
to get.
No,
Google
honestly,
that.
and come here, she'd be tormenting me now because when I say these things, she's like, yeah, like whatever, let it go
You know
over
what
our
it is
heads.
though? It's because, like, obviously in society, you're only told certain things. Like,
Yeah,
you're only learn
100%.
certain things in skill. You're only, like, by venturing out, do you learn things like
I
this.
know,
by
honestly,
educating yourself.
yeah,
Do you know
it
what I
is
mean?
all about education, like, and then again as well, like, for any young girls that are listening, cancer is not only in older women and not even only in 30-year-olds. Like, the youngest I've heard is 17.
Sure.
Is that with breast cancer?
Yeah.
Sorry, when I was
And
only 20, I had to go and get a thing done. I had
No,
to go down
honestly,
there by myself.
yeah,
and all.
like
It
a
is
couple of my nieces,
traumatising.
obviously now, my niece Megan, she obviously, because in the time it was, she went and checked, she had a couple of lumps, but
Yeah.
thank God there was nothing to be worried about. But being in that environment, I seen so many young kids, and like it's so important. As soon as a girl becomes of a puberty age, pretty much, and they start, developing that breast tissue, they should be checking it. I think in schools,
How do you check? Like,
So-
obviously you were saying that you wouldn't have noticed by the way you
yeah.
checked,
So
but-
you have to put your hand right behind your back and really tighten the
so
skin.
like pop your hand.
Yeah, right around the back, and then you go from your.
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
I
up
don't
from
even do
underneath
You
your
go
armpit?
in from your underneath your armpit, and then you just keep going and pressing in towards the
I
nipple.
would be nearly afraid to fail. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, but so you're not like the way I do, because I had the tumor and I know what it feels like. I wouldn't be going in with the actual tips. Kind of go in with that part.
Yeah, with the,
do you know what I mean?
flatter parts.
Like that.
Yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
you can really feel, and the idea is that you do it enough so that you know your breast, so
And it
that if
can
there is a
obviously
lump,
be
you're going to know.
anywhere as well. It doesn't have
It
to
can be
only at
under
the
your,
top.
it can come from under your armpit. Like I do have a little lump there now, but it's because of the surgery and all. They have to drain it every now and again. But I can feel that, and I know what it feels like. So I'll
You'll know.
I'll
You'll know if you
check
get
every
anything
day.
new.
I literally check my breast every day. I'm laughing.
Yeah,
like,
of course you do.
it sounds funny, a good way of checking, when you're in the shower and
I
you have
heard
the
that.
soap on, then just
'Cause it
glide your
glides.
hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get
But this is it. Like I'd love to even kind of get something going around the schools, teaching girls how to check, because early detection does save your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
We're
know.
actually doing like a breast cancer fundraiser day on the 25th of October. You
Oh,
should get
very
involved
good.
with us, shouldn't you?
Brilliant.
No, we are, yeah, you
Yeah.
should definitely.
Oh, I'd love
We'll
that.
get in touch with you about it.
Ah,
anyway.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And did
Yeah.
you see, sorry, that they're saying now there's new ways to check your boobs and all for the cancer.
Do you know what? I was watching loads of videos, but I've become so used to it now that
know
I
that
haven't.
works for
But
you.
that's another
You have
tip,
your own
is
little way.
just if girls are too embarrassed to go and have their breast check, which is very common. There's loads of videos on YouTube and all that will
show you how to do it.
Yeah,
No, it is.
from like proper professionals of not just girls, women doing it who are not professionals. Like if you go on, you will find videos that will show you how to check your breasts.
And it is quite quick and simple as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, so like
and then another thing as well is another misconception with breast cancer is not only women get it, men get it as well. So if there is a high, I mean, you can get breast cancer anywhere, but men do get breast cancer as well. So don't ignore a lump if you have one, lads.
Yeah,
they just have like
we
bulbs.
actually had someone on and they said that they had enlarged breasts. It was actually Paige. She said she was actually born with enlarged breasts, but obviously when she was male. But obviously men can get like large breasts.
Absolutely, yeah.
So obviously they'd be able to get it because they have too much estrogen in their bodies.
Too much estrogen. Yeah, there you go.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is becoming more common in men.
Yeah, well, that's why we were saying even for our fundraiser day, we are going to try to get men involved, because not even that, even if a man doesn't have cancer, a man could still be a father, a husband.
Oh yeah, and it is all about it is all about your surroundings when you're going through it. Like, I mean, there was a couple of men who I can't remember who they are, but I did obviously going through the stories. They were like, "Oh, I'll be getting me daughter," you know what I mean?
Check and all,
absolutely,
yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we finish up?
No, I suppose literally just don't ignore your body. Do you know what I mean?
Listen to everything.
Listen to your body, and as well, again, just to young girls out there, like, don't just assume just because you're young that you don't need to check your breasts. You need to check your breasts, and if you don't know, go and learn.
And even if you do see a little lump, because I feel like a lot of people say to you, says, "Oh, it's only a little lump."
Well, like, look at me, I wasn't going because of that cyst. If it didn't go because of the cyst that I kind of knew was a cyst, again, there's my, like, what you call it, you know, example of me just assuming.
And I feel like you are very lucky because, like, obviously you left it for 14 months and you are very lucky
you're
that you only
so
had to.
blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that it didn't
absolutely.
spread. Do you know what I mean? I know you're saying, "Oh, I'm not lucky I had breast cancer," but I just mean that because it was left for that long because of COVID, it could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, no. Thank God.
So yeah, just that's the message I would like to give. Just always make sure you check, and if there's anything there, don't wait. Just go and have a check straight away. Do you know what I mean?
And I know you're on Instagram, so do you post much about breast cancer?
No, but
I've
when I was when I was kind of going through a bit of a bad patch with my mental health, I did delete my account. Can't get back onto it. I had a few stories on there. But I'm only back on it a while, so yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Dorothy Roe. And
we'll be tagging you as well.
I'll probably put up a video myself there now for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and of how I check my breasts anyway.
Yeah.
And if
we can post that on our page though.
If anyone wants to message, ask questions, I'm always open. Like, I absolutely no problem in helping anyone out who has concerns.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. So that's everything for today.
Yeah.
If everyone could head over to the Workboy podcast, please, and give us a little follow, we'd really, really appreciate it. And we want to just thank everyone for listening to myself and Vanessa and Dorothy today. And really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dorothy. You're so good.
You're welcome.
So much.
Happy
That was
to
very
be here.
good. You were literally so good. I liked the way
I liked the way you dumped it down for us. Literally, I'm actually feel so educated after today.
I know. So
I felt like I wasn't really sure about a lot of things.
Yeah, is that over now?
Yeah. Thanks.
No, I felt like as well when we had a